Welcome back to the Team to Beat Miami Heat fucking podcast. Your one-stop shop for daily Miami Heat content. The Miami Heat just lost to the Orlando Magic 121 to 114. This is the post-game show. And this is a fucking rant because the Miami Heat blew a 25-point lead to the fucking Orlando Magic. And this is not the typical 4 seed or 3 seed Magic that have Jalen Suggs, one of the best two-way defenders in the NBA. They didn't have their number one draft pick, Paulo Banchero, who's been out with an oblique injury for how long? I don't know how long. Franz fucking Wagner has been out as well. So their three best players are out. Yes, Jimmy Butler was out this game with an injury and illness. And we were still supposed to win this game. And we had enough. We were up by 5 points. We were dominating the game the entire way. From the first quarter, we were up 40-28. The second quarter, we were up 36-28. We were up by 20 points at halftime. Going into the fourth quarter, we were up by 22 points. And we scored 8 total points against the Orlando Magic, and they scored 37 in the fourth quarter, and we blew a 22-point lead going into the fourth, and the most we were up by was 25 fucking points. And honestly, I was watching the game, and most of the game was just in the background. My best friend from Austin, Texas is visiting me today. Neil, come over here. Neil has been on the podcast. He is visiting here. We were having some food. We were having some drinks. My 2-year-old daughter was hanging out. We're hanging out with my wife. So we were watching the game. We were paying attention in the first half. But when the Heat were up by 20 points and in control of the entire game, I was eating cheese. I was drinking wine. I was hanging out with my friend. So I wasn't paying very close attention because I thought this game was a guaranteed victory. And the Miami Heat literally shit the bed in the fourth quarter and lost this game somehow to the Orlando Magic, who are missing their top 3 players. Neil, you were kind of paying attention, obviously. You were here visiting me. We were having fun. And you weren't fully engaged watching the game because it seemed like it was going to be a blowout, right? You have Neil mentioned that the Magic are still a good team. They're a solid team, but you don't have your top 3 players. I don't give a shit if Jimmy Butler's not playing. You still have Bam. You still have Tyler Hero. They were both playing very well, and they still ended up losing this game. What is your perspective as an outsider? How the hell did the fucking Miami Heat blow this type of game?
Well, you said it was, 37-8
In the fourth quarter?
That's ridiculous. I just think that there's a different kind of mentality when you look at the Magic. They are in a position where they are always trying to grind to get to the next level. I think the Heat might be at a coasting altitude. I think those are the two biggest things. The Heat probably built up this lead. They're probably like, we're good. But the Magic, they're just grinders. Like, no matter what, like you said, they haven't had Paolo for 2 months now? Like, he's been gone for a while. Franz has been gone. But it doesn't matter. Like, this team just is like the epitome of making the most of their talent and overachieving. And they're down 25 at home, whatever it may be, they're still going to come back. That's kind of the way I see it. I think the Heat, they just kind of know that they know where they're at, and it's not really going to change. But Orlando, they're always like grinding just to get whatever they can.
Well, look at this. Tim Reynolds said, teams with a 22-point lead or more entering the fourth quarter had gone 796-0 in NBA games since December 22nd, 2019. The Miami Heat entered the fourth quarter up by 22 points. So who's to blame on this team right now, Neil? Like, one, it's got to be Bam Adebayo because he is our defensive anchor. He is our all-around best player with Jimmy Butler out tonight, and He played good initially, 23 points, 6 rebounds, no assists, 8 for 15, 7 for 11. But you allowed Goja Bitazaski, whatever the fuck his name is, to go 8 for 8, 18 and 13, right? So that's Bam's fault right there. Like, we need you to step up as our defensive anchor and not take your foot off the gas. So I'm going to put blame on Bam. It's not just on Bam, it's on the entire team. But defensively, you're our anchor. You didn't do shit. You allowed him to score that many points. Cole Anthony scored 35, 8 rebounds, 9 assists, 13 for 25 from the field. Cole Anthony is not even in the rotation. If we look at his last game against the Thunder, he played 13 minutes and he had 3 points. The game before that, he had 9 minutes against the Knicks, 4 points. The game before that against Milwaukee, 15 minutes, 4 points. The game before that against the Suns, he played 29 minutes. He's a solid player. He's a good player. 14 points. Cole Anthony scored 14, 8, 21 points in the last 4 games combined. He had 30, what did I just say? 35 points. That is embarrassing. Where is the point of attack defense? Where's the perimeter defense? Where is Spo allowing his team with
That's what I was gonna say.
like it's on Spo. Like
I
you
was just gonna say that we can blame the players all that we want, and yeah, they deserve part of it. But Spo probably has to take some of the criticism right now. Like, there's no reason why you should blow a 22-point lead. You said the record was 700 something and nothing. If you're up 22 going into the fourth, like, that's kind of crazy. You have to put some of the blame on the coach. I don't know.
Why?
Maybe like Spo is coasting now, or it just. I'm not sure. I'm not sure how to explain it, to be honest with you.
Why is Haywood Highsmith, who's been in the rotation, been starting, didn't start tonight, plays 6 minutes? Only 6 minutes. He's our top 3 defender, one of our best point of attack defenders. Cole Anthony's going off. Why don't you play Haywood Highsmith? Khalil Ware has not been in the rotation. He's been playing great tonight. He had 14 minutes only, 8 points, 7 boards. He was 4 for 4 from the field. Why are you not giving Khalil Ware? You need some size. Like, we lose the rebounding battle, we lose the game. So if we look at the rebounds, we lost only 41 to 38. It wasn't that big of a difference. But the biggest issue with this Miami Heat team is we don't have size, and like, we're getting out rebounded. They're getting second chance opportunities. We were 36 from 75 from the field, 48%. They were 43 for 87. They got 12 more shots than us. Play Khalil when he's playing good, looking good. Play Haywood, who's one of our best defenders. Yes, Terry Rozier had one of his best games, but like, when they're coming back defensively or offensively and we need help defensively, why is Terry still in the game? 33 minutes, 23 points, great game for him off the bench, one of his best games that he's had off the bench. And why are you still playing him 33 minutes and only giving Haywood 6 minutes? Why is Khalil only going 14 minutes? Like, pathetic. We're typically one of the best teams in terms of protecting the ball. We had 14 turnovers to their 13. So we weren't protecting the ball as good as we used to. But still, one embarrassing stat. We had 42 free throws. 33 out of 42, 79%. That is the problem. That is a huge issue. They had 27 free throws. We had 15 more free throws than them, and we lost this game. Like, if you're winning the free throw battle by that much, like, how are you missing that many free throws? That's a huge issue. But either way, Tyler Hero had a good game. He's been one of our best players. He was 38 minutes, 22 points, 6 boards, 5 assists, 7 for 17. But it's not translating to wins. This game is not all on Tyler Hero. But where's Tyler Hero in that fourth quarter? Where's Bam Adebayo? Your 2 stars right now. You scored fucking 8 points in the fourth quarter. Like, I am at a loss for words how you can lose. Like, yes, Jimmy Butler is out and he wasn't playing tonight, but we only had one of our premier players out. Paulo and Franz Wagner are out, and Jalen Suggs, their best defender. He's arguably one of the best defenders as a point guard in the NBA, and you blow a 25-point lead. It's pathetic. Like, trade Jimmy Butler. blow it up at this point. What's the point of keeping Jimmy Butler? I know it's just a regular season game, but these are the types of games that you lose that impact your ability to avoid the play-in. We've been a play-in team for the last 2 years. We were a top 4 or 5 seed. We're now 13-13. We're on a 3-game losing streak after we were on a 4-game winning streak. You don't lose games to the Orlando Magic. We lost 2 playoff or overtime games to the Orlando Magic. You lost to the Toronto Raptors. This Magic team without their 3 best players are not a good team. They are only a good team and a top team because they have very good players and young players in Paulo and Franz and Jalen Suggs, who just got a max contract. And they are all out. This is a game you have to win. I don't care that Jimmy Butler was out. You still have to win this game. And it's tough. They're a good home team. You're on the road, but they literally don't have their 3 starters, and you still lose to the Magic. And it's embarrassing. The fact that your defense was good enough where they scored 28 in the first, 28 in the second, 28 in the third, and you allowed 37 in the fourth, and your offense just forgot how to play basketball. It doesn't make sense to me, Neil. Like, where do the Heat go from here? Like, if you want to be a playoff team, if you want to be a team that avoids the play-in, you can't lose these games. Good teams find ways to win on the road. Good teams don't blow 25-point leads. What do you think?
So one of the things that you said that I thought was most interesting was you got to trade Jimmy. So you have to first figure out what an acceptable return is for Jimmy Butler. If that was a path you wanted to take.
You're not going to get a fair trade. Anytime you trade a superstar all-star, you never get a complete fair trade back immediately.
But the idea is to get younger, get someone that you feel like you could kind of build up through the Heat culture sort of thing. Is that like the goal? Because like if you decide to go that route, trade Jimmy Butler, you need to get someone that you feel like you could actually build up.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm heated. I don't know if it's like trading Jimmy's the answer, but it's like this team is not a real contender if you lose games like this. We are not good enough. We have not been good enough. We've been to the finals twice in the Jimmy Butler build. It's been 6 seasons. What is going to change? How are we going to improve? How are we going to win games in the playoffs when it means like the most when you're healthy? The issue with the Miami Heat has been we've been injured. Tyler's missed 30 games a year, every single year. Jimmy Butler's missed 20 games a year. It's always been about injuries. Jimmy's missed only 6 games this season. Tyler Hero hasn't missed a single game. Bam's missed like 1 game. It's always been like, if we're healthy, what can we do? We're healthy, but we're still finding ways to lose. Like, we're not like elite enough where when we're healthy, we're a team where we should win games that you should win. You shouldn't lose a game against a team where their 3 starters are out and 2 of their stars are all potentially, right? It's not like they're like mediocre teams where it's like Jordan Poole and Kuzma are out for the Wizards and you're playing against Kispert and Valanciunas and whoever. Like, you know what I mean? It's not like it's a mediocre team that has 3 players that are not like elite. Franz and Paolo are elite players. They are a top 3, top 4 team in the East with their 3 best players out. You should win that game. That's like the Suns having literally KD and Booker out and only Beal's out there at the helm. You should win that game. It's like the Dallas Mavericks not having Luka and Kyrie out. Like, you should win that game theoretically, especially when you're dominating because those guys are out for a reason. You're dominating. If they were not out, then it would have been a different story. It would have been a different game. They wouldn't have been up by 25 if they were fully healthy. So the fact that they were not healthy and you blew this fucking game, that's an issue.
I get what you're saying, right? And that kind of speaks to the DNA about what a team is, because when the Magic were down 20, whatever it was in the fourth, they could have just like tapped out and called it a night. But then they recognized that Miami might have been coasting a little bit in the fourth. They kept chipping away at the lead, and the next thing you know is a 10-point game, and then Orlando's like, we got a chance to win this game, and then they actually followed through and did it. Like, that's kind of like the mentality of a team that you recognize is just built different. It's not a team that just kind of packs it in when they're down. 25 in the fourth. How many teams can you count that would still keep fighting in a situation like that with, as you said, their stars are out?
And how do you not want to like have the mentality of blow it up as the Miami Heat team right now at this point when like it's been 6 years with Tyler, Jimmy, and Bam and Duncan? It's been 6 seasons. You say that health has been the thing. We're healthy. I know Jimmy's not playing tonight, but the fact that Jimmy's out, Franz, Paolo, and Suggs were out. So like we still had more. We had more with Tyler and Bam out there, and we still couldn't execute and finish. Like the fourth quarter was the biggest issue, and it's just like a good team doesn't lose this type of game, right? Like a good team doesn't lose this game, and the Miami Heat have found many ways to lose, and they've lost 6 games by 3 points or less, which is the most in the NBA. So there's been tough games with Jimmy, with Bam and Tyler, that they've been up by 15 against the Knicks, 15 against the Kings. They were up by like 13 against the Bucks, and they were up against all these teams that were good teams, and they lost. And this was a good team without 3 of their best players, and we're up by 25, and we still found a way to lose. So I don't know what the fuck this Miami Heat team can do in the future, but this is not a good sign. This is a pathetic loss. This is an embarrassing loss, and I don't know where the Miami Heat go from here. Now they're 13-13. They're even, which is fine, but still, like, it's just other teams are trending in the right direction. The Bucks were bad, and they were like the 10th seed, and they've been the hottest team in the East now. They're figuring it out. Other teams are going to figure it out. The Magic, once they get back Paulo and Franz and Suggs, they're going to continue to be a good team. The Pacers are not as good as they were. The Sixers are a shit show because of injuries. So I don't know what this Miami Heat team can do. I don't know.
Well, I mean, like, it kind of adds validity to the fact that they were considering trading Jimmy, but I think when you start talking yourself down that path, you have to figure out what you want in return, right? So I think that's probably where the front office is. It's like, if we decide to go down this path, like, what is an acceptable amount of pieces that we get back to try to take the next phase? Because if Shams is right, then they've already thought through this to some degree, but it's about, like, how can you maximize what you're getting back? So it's definitely an interesting time. The East looks improved, actually, because you thought Boston might actually just walk away with the East, but Cleveland has a better record than them. Milwaukee's coming up. Orlando looks decent, and Miami's kind of in a position where they're trying to avoid the playing games. So
yeah, we'll see. We fucking suck. So anyway, this is embarrassing. I don't know what to say from here, but yeah, that's all we have for the show. Thanks for watching.